Hello and good evening, everyone. Today I would like to start a small series of cleaning my skeletons from closet because I have like 10 models in a some way or some degree of completion. So first of all, I would like to start with a very unusual tank. It's the Swedish Strv, aka Stridswagen 103C, which is the latest version, main battle tank. This model is made by Trumpeter, and as far as I know, is the only available on the market. Maybe something will come sooner or later by some Japanese company, but at the moment, this is it. What you can get. They are making it in both 35th and 72 scale. And let's see how far I actually left the model when I touched it for the last time. So as you can see, I managed to obtain a very nice book which contains a lot of details about the model, practical photos, showing the new pneumatic suspension, which is quite a unique feature, as well as showing this protection from heat ammunition, sort of like a fence or something. And I'm actually adding that into my model as well. We will talk about it a bit later. This book is a really nice one, based on a museum pictures, so it's not maybe completely accurate, but for my purpose it's just fine. And as you can see, there is a very specific camouflage on the tank, so plenty of nice details, photos to work with. So, assembly manual, nothing extremely surprising here. And yeah, here comes the first part. I bought it with a Edwards detail set full of photo etched parts. And to be absolutely honest with you, just let's say 40% of them is usable, and the rest is more like to keep you insane. Especially this part, which is let's call it a frontal fence. The protection from the heat ammunition was quite complex to assemble. And we will get to it later on. So, as you can see, I have some parts prepared for cleaning. These are the photo etch parts plus the part of the undercarriage. And this is the actual chassis, which is already in the base color. And I'm slowly adding all the pieces that are currently missing, so I can build up all the necessary parts for the tank. I've managed to get the aluminum barrel, which is always nice. It cost me like 3 or 4 euros because it's no longer produced, and many thanks to Edward, because they were able to find it for me somewhere in the depth of their storage. So this is a very nice addition. And as well, you can see the kit, because it was made like somewhere around in the year 2000 and something. Those tracks are actually made from rubber, so I chose not to use them. But they can, if you have a keen eye, they can resemble you the usual NATO or Bundeswehr tracks, which is a good, because I was able to get, as you can see, I was able to get tracks for my tank that were assembled piece by piece using quite a handy jig. And these are those tracks already assembled and pre-painted, and the jig itself makes the assembly process quite fast. So much for these. Let me put them aside. Again, plenty of photo etch parts. Most of them actually will not be used by me, but it's good to have an option to pick from them. Also the wheels. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And here comes the funny part. This is actually the 4-part fence to the front of the vehicle, which has been assembled from separated wires, and those connectors are provided by Edward as a photo etch. It was very tedious work to make them all fit, but at the end of the day, it actually looks very nice. It's a full metal job, so it will be looking very nice on the finished model as well. Okay, let's put them aside. And I have also some parts already prepared, including the periscopes for the commander and driver, including the colored foil, which I'm using for, maybe it's visible, yeah, it's a blue one. And these are partially photo etch, partially plastic, so it was quite difficult to put them together. And these are already prepared parts for the assembly of the, let's call it, top hull, how to say. And as you can see, this model is quite complex, and with all these additions, it will be hopefully a very nice model. So let's see. What next I actually need to do. Just a minute, please. Yeah, all these steps are already prepared, including the tracks. Yeah, and this is the part where I'm currently now. Let's take a look. As you can see, most of the parts from step 8 and step 9 are prepared. I just didn't glue those 2 mortars which are coming in here, and they were used for flares or for the ammunition with the smoke. So it was quite a good idea. In this tank in its entirety is actually very, very special because it was turretless design. I show you just in a very sketchy way. The gun was actually like this, and for the aiming you had to actually move the entire vehicle. There was literally no leeway, not a single degree to the side or to the top. You really had to use the pneumatic suspension or turn the tank, which was actually very, very nicely drivable. There are, by the way, plenty of these all around the world in the museums. And I believe in Sweden there is Arsenal Museum where you can actually drive or to have a ride in one of these. These are which are actually still in a running condition. Okay, let's take a look a bit further. Yes, so I pretty much need to clean and add all these tiny bits and pieces to the top part of the hull. That I will be doing most likely tomorrow. Today I will spend just some time cleaning. I'll do it off camera, and with a bit of luck tomorrow or during the weekend there will be another video with the assembly itself. Okay, as you can see, I already have prepared those holes for the fence in the front of the vehicle, and those actually need to be drilled through the both parts of the hull. So it will be also a quite tedious job, but at the end I believe it will enrich the look of the tank quite a lot. Okay. Also, I will show you these detailed photos. You can see it's really quite a massive part of the vehicle. Yeah. And it's, I don't know, let me give you a fun fact. This sort of armor, how to say, was actually Swedish Swedish military secret until 1990s, when those were discontinued and replaced by a Swedish iteration of German Leopard tanks. So if you want, you can find on YouTube several videos showing how actually this was supposed to work. It's quite interesting. And this tank had some additional unique design features. For example, it was able to reverse it at exactly the same speed as go forward. So it was basically built to utilize this pneumatic suspension, fire several shots, and immediately retreat from the position without actually turning the vehicle. Basically, the main reason why this tank was actually engineered and created was to defend or to delay possible Soviet invasion. So this tank was built really just to hit and run, basically, nothing else. It was never meant to be used for prolonged or longer combat exposure against Soviet tanks. So much for this one. Should I find any more details or interesting information, I will let you know in the next videos. And just maybe one more thing, those additional storage bins, or how to say, on the back of the tank were actually plastic. Since like 70s, they already used them as a plastic part. And on the side, there were real canisters for the fuel, used as a sort of applique armor or additional armor, if you will. Here's a nice photo of the frontal protection as well. And you need to realize that actually this fence, in conjunction with a very slope angle of the vehicle itself, allowed for enemies shells to actually ricochet, or for the heat shells or high explosive shells to actually detonate on the front before touching the armor itself, because the thickness of the armor wasn't something huge. It was like 60 millimeters, I believe. I'm not sure now. Still, huge vehicle, nice vehicle, and I'm looking forward to continue with the build. So should you have any more questions or any ideas about the build, please feel free to leave me a message. I will gladly reply next time. And don't worry, there is plenty of such unfinished models in my closet, so sooner or later we will see another one as well. But for now, I would like to finish this masterpiece of Swedish engineering. Okay, thanks a lot. It was all from my side. Have a nice evening, and bye.